Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Corn poppin'. There we go. That's a little better. Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you guys had a very fantastic weekend. I've had a very busy weekend as well as just having not only to do a bunch of stuff, but I just got back from rehearsal. Be sure that if you have free time next weekend or the weekend after, so June 16th, 17th, 23rd, and 24th at 7 p.m., I'll be performing at the Planet Ant Theater in Hamtramck in a sketch show called Well, Fuck Me, I Guess. I'm starring with five others, I want to say, 4 or 5 others, in a very hilarious sketch show that is not for children, but also it is childish in a way. So if you're not doing anything, Planet Ant Theater, June 16th, 17th, 23rd, and 24th. Having a hard time with this. So yeah, I just got back from rehearsal. I've had a busy weekend where I didn't have time to like plan everything out accordingly, but I want to do as many shows as possible. And after this sketch show is over, I'm going to be focusing a lot more on this and other videos as well. So thank you for tuning in if you are, even though no one's in the lobby right now. Let's get started with some news. There's only one piece of news that I found interesting enough to put in last second to, present to you guys. As Bryan Cranston has actually announced his retirement. Apparently, it's a decision for him to spend more time with his family. He mentions that his wife did the same for him. He said, quote, "It's not going to be like, oh, I'll read and see what I'm going to do. No, it's a pause. It's a stop. I won't be thinking about work. I'm not going to be taking phone calls. For the last 24 years, Robin has held her life holding onto my tail. She's had to pivot and adjust her life based on mine. She has tremendous benefit from it, but we're uneven. I want to level that out. She deserves it." Good for you, Bryan Cranston. I mean, you did fucking Breaking Bad. That's enough. I think that you deserve a break as long as you'd like. Apparently, this is going to happen in 2026. Also, it doesn't really say that he's retiring. It says that he's pausing from the horse's mouth. He's pausing in 2026. So we could see him again. I mean, it might be like Jay-Z. He might say he retired, but he said he was real tired. Real tired. So there's that. Get your Bryan Cranston shit on right now because you got 2 more years of him until he takes a break. If you don't watch or have watched Breaking Bad, you can watch it on Netflix right now. I also recommend Trumbo, Argo, and Asteroid City, which I haven't seen, but that's Wes Anderson's new movie that is going to be starring Bryan Cranston. It's coming out in a few weeks, so be on the lookout for that. All right, we're going to quickly go through the things I'm watching right now, whether or not you should watch them as well. There's Justified that is on Hulu. The spinoff series Primeval is going to be premiering July 18th, so I'm trying to rewatch the series before that. The show takes place in Kentucky, but the spinoff is going to take place in Detroit. It stars Timothy Olyphant and Walton Goggins. Adventures of U.S. Marshal Raylan Givens, a modern-day Old West cowboy in Kentucky. The whole series you can watch on Hulu right now. Another show I'm watching right now is Platonic, which you can watch Wednesdays on Apple TV+. It stars Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen. It's a comedy about a married woman and a recently divorced man reconnecting their platonic friendship and the complications it can bring. Very funny show. This past episode was the best one of the season. It actually deals with how awkward it can be and how awkward it could be with her, Rose Byrne's character's husband, facing the relationship of friendship that Seth and Rose's characters have right now. I definitely recommend it. Very, very poppin'. By the way, Justified, it is poppin'. You should watch it. Some of the best writing I've ever seen on television. Another show that I'm watching, but I don't love too much, but if you're interested, it is something I am watching. It's called Silo. It's on Apple TV+. New episodes on Fridays, not Wednesdays, like I had previously reported. It is a post-apocalyptic future where a mysterious illness released on Earth forces a society to live inside a giant underground silo. It's a show that's kind of like The Foundation, Lost, or 4400. It's not my type of series. It's got really good acting, and they killed off like the quote-unquote star of the show every episode. It kept shifting. Like a main character dies every episode, but now it seems to be leveling out to like more of like the mystery aspect. The show seems to star Rebecca Ferguson the most, and she's very, very good in it, but I don't know if I recommend it yet. I have to wait till the series is over. Class of 09, not very much popping, but a really good cast of characters, specifically Brian Tyree Henry and Kate Mara, starring in a television series about a class of FBI agents set in 3 distinct points in time who grapple with immense changes as the U.S. criminal justice system is altered by artificial intelligence. It takes place in the present, 2009, the past, 2009, the present, 2023. I still feel like it's 2009. And it takes place in the future, which is like 2050 or something. It's okay. It's just a little slow. It's on Hulu Wednesdays. All right, here are the things that I watched because it was slow. The only new movie that came out was Transformers 17, Rise of the Beasts. In all actuality, I believe that this is the 7th part in the Transformers, or maybe 8th if you can include Bumblebee. This was really good. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe not really good, like it's hokey and whatnot, but it was entertaining. It was funny. It had good action and it had a surprise end credit scene. So Transformers 1 with Shia LaBeouf is probably still my favorite. It's a classic, and it does some wild shit in it. Transformers 2, you're like, okay, this is all right. Both directed by Michael Bay. Michael Bay did all of them except for this one and Bumblebee. 3 was when they brought Mark Wahlberg in, I think, and maybe not. Maybe that's 4. Either way, Mark Wahlberg, I've watched 2 of his movies where he starred in the Transformer movies. And those were the movies that I realized that Mark Wahlberg actually does a better job at acting when it's a green screen and you have to pretend to talk to someone. Also with Ted, he's better reacting off of his imagination than he is reacting on an actual human being. So Transformers helped me learn that. It also helped me learn that I didn't care for these movies anymore. So I didn't really want to see this one. It was the only new movie in theaters and I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. It's got a new director, Stephen Capel Jr., who had previously done Creed 2, which, no offense, but is my least favorite Creed. But props to you to making my second favorite, in the very least, Transformers movie. I did not see the Bumblebee spin-off film starring John Cena, but I have heard good things, specifically critically. And now I kind of want to give it a shot because it's been said that this movie, that Bumblebee is the best out of all of them except for Transformers. This was really good. This is my second favorite one that I've watched. It stars Anthony Ramos Ramos. Still haven't decided on which way to pronounce that. And it also stars, let me see Dominique Fishback from Judas and the Black Messiah and The Deuce and Swarm. She was really good in this. They're both really good. It also has Pete Davidson voicing as the fun robot Mirage, which took me a while to figure out that it was him, but it was him, and it was pretty surprising. It was very, very funny. I'm a Pete Davidson fan, so I think that the less people that know about that, the better, to be honest, because I think he's universally disliked. But he made it work, and I thought he was very, very funny. So props to this movie. I thought it was very well made. Go take your kids to see it, and you'll be like, yeah, that wasn't that bad compared to the other ones. And I think it's because Michael Bay kind of just leaned into like the easy shit. This movie also was one thing that had it going for it was it took place during the 90s. I want to say it was around 95. The music really captured the scene, the clothes, everything. It was just very, very well made. I think for it to be a prequel is what made it work a lot better than being a sequel. And having these beasts, Transformers, was pretty cool. But the ending made it even a little more cooler. I didn't know, and this is a spoiler for the end credit scene. I was completely surprised, and I was completely like, yeah, sure, I guess I'll see the next one, even though I was kind of saying to myself, if this director does the next Transformers, I'll watch the next Transformers because this one wasn't that bad. But the end credit scene shows the star of the film being recruited by a certain agency. Spoiler in 3, 2, 1, G.I. Joe. So I did very small amount of research. By small amount, I mean like 2 minutes worth of research. And it included looking at G.I. Joe and Transformers, who they're owned by. They are owned by Hasbro, and apparently there was a comic book series of Transformers and of G.I. Joe, and they had a crossover event of, I think, 4 comics. So apparently they have had a history of working together before, but we've never done this in movies for sure. Apparently we're going to do it now. G.I. Joe has previously done at least 3 films. One was starring Marlon Wayans and Channing Tatum. That movie was okay. The second one was The Rock. That one was okay. And I know they did another one with Henry Gould that I've heard not good things about. But I will watch the next Transformers versus G.I. Joe or Transformers and G.I. Joe. I don't know. They're trying to figure out a way to revive G.I. Joe. They might as well piggyback off of Transformers Rising Glory. The reason I'm saying Rising Glory is because, yes, their box office smashes, but they're not all good. This one, worth the money, I have to say. All right, next up, no movies. Television-wise, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia came back with 2 episodes. You can watch the new season Wednesdays at 10 p.m. on FXX. You can watch the entire series on Hulu, but the new seasons will be released on Thursdays on Hulu. They had 2 episodes, not the strongest start, but I do love the show. I love that Frank was treated like a dog, and he kind of is a dog. And I liked that Charlie, it was an okay opening. I like that this crew takes time to make new seasons. It's one of my favorite shows, 100%. It's just these newer episodes are like, okay, you guys are just like going as long as you can go. Of course, why not? But the 2 episodes that they've had so far aren't the strongest. I do respect the game because I listen to their podcast and I see the way that they write things, and it is pretty good. So, of course, I always recommend 100% watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Great satire and comedy and blah, blah, blah. But with very terrible characters, but very hilarious characters nonetheless. But terrible people is what I mean. Hulu. All right, The Idol. This is probably the most talked about show. I drink loud on TV right now. It stars Lily Rose Depp, aka Johnny Depp's daughter, and The Weeknd, who is The Weeknd. I don't love The Weeknd's music. It's nothing against him, and it shouldn't have to reflect on his acting. But I don't really, when I heard about this show, I'm like, I don't know. But the guy who did Euphoria and Malcolm and Marie, Sam Levinson, who, controversy aside, I am a fan of. I think he's a very good writer, and the cinematography that he's been a part of is very, very exponentially great. And the acting that he has gotten out of performances, specifically the direction that he's got out of performances from Zendaya's acting specifically is fantastic. I think he's a good director. The controversy is basically the sex stuff that he features in his work. People are a little cringe to it. I'm sure there's more of a nuanced way I can explain the controversy, but I haven't read into it. I do know there's controversy with this show, and that, real quick, is they did have a female director. She had previously done a movie that I can't remember the name. I'm sorry. And she also did a few episodes on the Get Shorty show, which is very good, by the way. Anyways, she did all the episodes ish. She did about 80% of the series, and she left due to creative differences. I think HBO kicked her off, and they wanted to revamp the show. The rumor is The Weeknd is one of the co-creators of the show. He helped develop the show. He didn't like how the show is being made from a female perspective. Again, this is allegedly. I don't know this. This is a rumor I read online. The rumor is, which he's denied, that he didn't want it to be more of a female perspective. He wanted to be reshaped. In any case, it was very prevalent that they reshaped the show after they got rid of her and had Sam Levinson, one of the co-creators, step in to do directorial duties. Duty. I prefer him, I think, because I love Malcolm and Marie, and I think Euphoria is a very well-made show. But I'm only a little bit intrigued by the show, only for certain aspects. The sexualization is very much on purpose, and it's kind of like the same feeling I had when I first watched Euphoria. I felt uncomfortable, but you're not supposed to really feel comfortable watching the sexualization-wise. She's an adult, Lily Rose Depp, and it's whatever, but it is kind of like, it's just like over-sexualization, but that is to reflect on the over-sexualization we have with pop stars. So it fits completely. My favorite aspect of the show is her crew that runs her life. Like, she has her publicist, her agent, her best friend that tries to keep her under control, but needs to make decisions that kind of get in the way. And like, she needs to try to be encouraging. And like when her handlers are telling her, hey, she needs to do this, she needs to do that. I like seeing it from their perspective of them trying to control this little girl's life as a project, or I'm sorry, as a product. And I liked it shifting focus to Lily Rose Depp's character as like someone who's like stuck in this situation. I haven't said it yet, but she plays a pop star. And the opening is like a 2 to 3 minute long one shot of close up of her face where they say like, be happy, be sad. And like Lily Rose Depp, I've only previously seen her in Yoga Hosers and some of a film called Wolf, but she's an excellent actress, actually, especially in that opening scene. Very, very, very good props to her. Probably helped being coached by Johnny Depp. Anyways, The Weeknd, he's whatever. He plays a douchey guy in this, so I don't really have much to say about his acting. But I will continue watching the series. Is it poppin'? I think that that's something for you to decide. If you're interested in watching something that is about the dark nature of being a young pop star that doesn't really have anyone in her life except for maybe a newcomer that could be toxic or could help her find her way to navigate through this crazy life of young stardom, check it out. It's on Sundays at 9 p.m. on Max, so tonight will be the second episode. I will watch it. It's just like, I didn't really like that last scene. And I know it's like supposed to represent shit of that first episode, but I don't know. I will watch the show continuously, mostly because there's not much on right now, but also because I don't hate the show. I find it intriguing. I will also note that Hank Azaria, excellent actor. He did a bunch of voices on The Simpsons, or does. He is also in the show. I didn't know that, so that was a pleasant surprise. Also, Eugene Levy's son. I can't remember his name, but the guy who did Schitt's Creek, he is also in the show as well. So maybe that'll make you interested. But check it out. Let me know what you think. I didn't have time to watch the Eric Andre show, but it's back. It's wild. It's very uncomfortable to watch in general. You can watch it on Adult Swim. Sundays at midnight is this new season. I know so far that he is going to have John Hamm on it, so I'm very excited. He's like a prankster type of guy. All right, what else is coming out next week? We have sponsored by Arnold Palmer. We are next week, and by next week I mean June 16th. We have a few movies coming out this week, next week, opposed to the one that came out this week. Usually before big superhero movies, there's not a lot to choose from to come out before that. Transformers, they chose wisely because I knew they're going to make a bunch of money. Anyways, The Flash is one of them. This is coming out June 16th. It's the continuation of the DCEU old one before the main transition into James Gunn's universe. This isn't the last one, but this is going to have a Flashpoint event, which is probably going to help us shift from old DCEU to the new DCEU. And we're going to have a couple Batmans in them. That's all I'll say. But I've been trying to stay away from the trailer. Another movie that's coming out is Elemental, Pixar's next film, which I have not watched the trailer to. Pixar's kind of hit or miss for me personally. Mostly hits. I mostly love all of them. I just wasn't a big fan of a few of the recent ones. Of course, I can't remember their names, but I'll go into more depth of how Pixar has been going next week. But this one's going to follow Ember and Wade in a city where fire, water, land, and air residents live together. So we'll see how that goes. The Blackening, this movie I'm excited for the most. I'm more than The Flash. I'm not that excited about The Flash, but I do think I hear it's very well made superhero film. The Blackening, it's a comedy horror film where it's basically, making fun of the true trope that minority characters are just stock characters that are there to be killed and usually first. Now we have a group of friends, all of whom are black, who are being terrorized by a serial killer that plays games that revolve around the topic of black characters in horror cinema. Very excited for this film. Watch the first trailer, and I didn't watch any more trailers. I'm very excited for it. I love that Yvonne Orji. I'm assuming I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Sorry, Yvonne. From Insecure. I'm assuming she's going to be in the opening scene alone, but I'm excited for her involvement. This looks hilarious. I've noticed that it says June 16th, but I've noticed that there's showtime starting June 14th, so keep that in mind. Another movie that's coming out, but it's not coming out on in theaters, but it will be on streaming, is Extraction 2 with Chris Hemsworth. Extraction 1 is a decent action movie. I watched the teaser trailer of this, which featured a one-shot fight scene that's very, very similar to the Raid 2 Barenthal. Just saying. But it was pretty badass. I will watch it. It's on Netflix Friday. And finally, this is what I'm excited for the most besides The Blackening, is The Black Mirror. 5 episodes, season 6, coming out June 15th on Netflix. Very excited. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. Watch your favorite episodes. Maybe I'll rate what are my favorite episodes along with which are my favorite Pixar movies and what I think of the new stuff that comes out next week. If you stayed tuned, thank you so much. If you just popped in and out, thank you so much. If you're going to continue popping, as long as there's popcorn by your side, I got no room to judge. Please like, comments, share. Deuces, guys.